Good afternoon, everybody. I'm going to have us all stand and say our Rotary Meeting. Service, love, stand on. Our pledge of allegiance. Flag, United States of America.
Indivisible.
Oh, Jim, you are here. Okay.
Please join in prayer or meditation as I say, blessed food to our giving, us for the thy service. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, I'll stay right here. Yeah, pardon me, I'm bone on my left leg here, and I got an infection, but it hasn't kicked in all the way yet. Okay, page 13, the bottom of the page. My country, 'tis of thee. A couple of interesting little things about that. So it's also known as America, and it was first performed on July 4th of 1831, almost 200 years ago. So it goes back a ways. And it was one of the de facto national anthems until we got the official national anthem established in 1931. It's set to the tune of God Save the King, the national anthem of the United Kingdom. Interesting. Number of notable performances of this song. It's very brief, but the most notable, I think, was the one by Marian Anderson, sung at the Lincoln Memorial on Easter Sunday of April 1939. Being an African-American singer, she had been forbidden to perform at the DAR Convention Hall because of its whites-only policy. So there was a national outcry on that decision, and Eleanor Roosevelt arranged for the concert to be held on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on Easter Sunday of 1939, and it attracted a crowd of 75,000 people. That's quite a crowd, 75,000 people on Easter Sunday of 1939, in addition to the national radio audience of a number of millions. So that is probably the most notable one.
Thank you.
So let's try and see what we can do with this thing. It's not very long. My country, 'tis of thee, speaks of let freedom ring at the end.
Yeah,
And here we are at the time of the year where the freedom to speak and to vote is particularly appropriate, I think. So we can think of that. Okay. My country, 'tis of thee, sweet and liberty of the arts. On every mountain side,
Thank you, Alan, very much. Appreciate that. Everybody can sit down. We have anyone on our Zoom? Tom and Libby, thank you for joining us. We're glad to have you. Couple items. There are cards going around, so if you haven't gotten your chance at luck today, hit Jason up before he passes by, because I know we got a winner in the hand today. There's lots of money. Could be a good little kitty. You never know. As we end out October. So with that said, I have a couple of announcements. We are doing, for those who let me know, we are going to be doing the trunk or treat at the sheriff's office on Thursday evening. I think that was Bill Payne. You said yes. Paul is a yes. And I guess most importantly, I'm asking Paul, do we have the candy? Are you getting?
We realize it tomorrow.
Okay. Paul's getting the candy for us. I think Jim made the trunk or treat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So between you guys and Jason, I think is also now indicated. You might want to connect among the four of you and see if you want to carpool or meet up or whose car is going to serve as the trunk for the treat that's coming.
Definitely not mine.
So I'll leave that for the four of you guys to discuss. And if there's anyone else who wanted to participate, if I've missed you, I'm so sorry, just let me know. And again, over at the sheriff's office in Eastville, did I say 5:30, thank you, 5:30. And they are still anticipating 1,200 kids are coming through for the trunk or treat. 1,200 is the number they're up to now. So.
Oh, you're gonna need a tractor trailer.
But again, keep in mind, we are not the only one, because I've talked with other organizations that are gonna be having a trunk there as well, so it'll be a fun event. And if you're encouraged to dress up, do that as well for Halloween, so. With that said, as was just indicated, don't forget next Tuesday is election day. We are having a meeting that day. We might be a little light of participants here, but for those who can, show up. If you haven't voted, vote that day either before you come here or on your back end as you leave here. Just wanted to remind everybody of that. We are officially, as of last week, in selling of crackers. $5 for a tray of 6 is the price this year. I think we've had the last 3 years, 2 years now. For those who don't know, John Burtis will not be here during the whole time to sell crab cakes.
You did this once before. Be a pattern, John.
He is not leaving town until next week. So I don't know if you were accepting people putting their orders in with you or.
I just didn't run me.
Okay, it's all going through Paul at this point. So if you already have sales to report, let Paul know. And sell, because sorry to say, it always happened. Usually about the first 15 days, we sell out or we start to get the word, pull back. Let's get a count. We might be at our limit here. So if you do know the first that want this, get to them early, get your list in, get it over to Paul as frequently as you need to. We have a lot of crab cakes to make, not just over 2,000 crab cakes is what we're aiming for this time around. Okay. You will get some more info on this as we get closer to the date. It's over at the Sheridan Fire Station. So all hands on deck for helpers that day. It is November 22nd is the day we're going to be making the crab cake. We'll get more info out to the pub as a whole on that. Any other announcements that I should make of upcoming events? We want to make sure it's on everybody's radar. None. Before I move on to other things, we did get a nice little thank you card. This is from the Cape Charles Sailing Camp, and they thank us for our support for one child to attend their sailing camp. And they hope we continue to work together with them to educate more on the water. That's the Cape Charles Sailing Camp. So again, our donations are making a difference in our community. Happy dollars. Anybody have some happy dollars? John.
A couple of my grandkids called me and they told me they reinstituted the draft. So I was lucky enough to get the German army and it's going to be gone for a while.
Oh, yeah.
2 weeks of boot camp and then I got to retire at 75. $10.
$10.
Hey, Jen.
Paul.
Yeah, Graham Fitty called me on my way here. He's in the mountains of North Carolina, not where it flooded, I don't think, but he says gorgeous and they're having a good time. And you'd hope to be able to watch this on Zoom today, but he wasn't able to, had a conflict. But he wanted me to give 20 happy dollars for him in recognition of he had the chance to see, he said, Calendar Girls, the Palace Theater Saturday night left. And that he wanted to recognize Karen Jolly Davis for doing 20 happy dollars. So is she still here?
Oh, Karen left. Oh. Make sure she is informed of the accolades. Absolutely. And
I would like to match Graham's donation and It was a fabulous, and she did fabulous. For those of you who don't know Calendar Girls, this is about a British group of church ladies who set out to raise £500 to purchase a settee in the hospital in the name of someone. And they had the good idea to print a calendar in which they took their clothes off, but everything was blocked. They had a good photographer, and so it was still very tasteful. With the result, if you believe the show, that they raised about £500,000 and put the honoree's name on a wing of the building, not just a settee. But at any rate, they very tastefully, I don't know how they did it, but they could very tastefully bare their tops. No one could see anything. So because we couldn't see anything, my $20 is in honor of Karen Jolly Davis's naked ankle. Very sexy. Thank you.
I'll throw in $10. This past Saturday, we had the PBEF fundraising ride between the water, and it was a beautiful day. I did the 60-mile ride, actually ended up 58 miles because there was some confusion with the arrows on the road. I think they may have forgotten to black out some of the arrows from previous years, and people were by the road. So ended up doing about 8 more miles, being lost along with some other people. But it was a nice day. Tomorrow I will do one more ride, and that will put me over 900 miles for the month of October. So I'm feeling
Very nice, very nice.
to worry, and pretty much healed up, I would say. So I'm feeling good about that.
Mark,
$10 for my mom who turned 91 on Sunday. And from the movie Calendar Girls, the West Florida Council on Aging did a calendar similar to that. You can look up Miss March. She turned 91.
What's that, Mark?
$10. Bill,
I'm happy because I would like to announce, because Stram's from Nashville, that he's over there collecting $5, $10, $15, $20 for a purple pinky.
purple pinky.
So don't leave. I'll be checking at the door.
Show me your picture.
Pinky.
And
$5 for that ad.
I actually was going to ask before we turn to our guest speaker today to have Stram talk about that just for a minute or so. What is this all about for our new members?
Well, I'll take my $5 back.
That's it.
No, it's fine.
Oh,
Sorry.
any other happy dog?
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I might steal Chip's thunder, but since Chuck started it about the CB's bike race, I also did the CB's bike race, as did Jim Rich and Chip Miller, and we rode together. And I don't think we rode 60 miles, but it sure seemed like
It was 75. It was 75.
You get lost too?
25.
actually 26.
26, okay. Well, how were you there?
Well, I was kind of happy at the start, but not so happy at the end.
Money wise.
Oh, $10.
There you go.
I'll throw in 10 for my.
Double that for Chip. He'll do 10. Chip. Thank you, Chip. Bill, just to remind everybody what you're doing over there. You did not get your fingers.
Oh, I know we have other people on here that have insurance, so they probably didn't read Paul's great notes, which talked about this today. So purple pinky, we've been doing this for, I don't know, 12, 15 years. And it's for polio eradication. For those that are new,
It started back in 1985. And we got a, the Melinda Gates Foundation gave money, it's matched by polio donations. So it's gone from a lot of countries. Can't tell you initially how many when they started, but it's down to 2. Now it started, it had an increase, but the 2 that are still remaining are Afghanistan and Pakistan. So they're still going, they're still going to India and Nigeria and administering polio vaccine to the children. So your money that you give today, $5 or more, will go to the foundation for polio. So thank you.
Very good. Thank you so much for leading that effort for us, Bill. Appreciate it. Any other happy dollars? With that, I'm gonna go to our highest card, our Queen of Hearts game.
Ace of Hearts.
Oh, I had an ace of clubs today.
I had 2 ace cards. Good for you. Yeah, I'm happy for you.
Spades over there. Anybody else?
2 ace.
No good, no good. Jim is our winner today.
Come on. It's all right, thank you.
Well, you won't get it.
I also have a pair of 9. Anyone can get it?
So, 2 aces of hearts, right? Yep.
But he has-
How much?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. Let's see if you get the queen. You know Hearts, Queen of Hearts? No. Yes. They're alive for another round. And I should have been one more. Our speaker next week is our esteemed area governor, Tommy Arnold, is coming to partake of his wisdom as to how we're doing as a region and to get some food from us. But other than that. With that said, I would like to turn our attention to our guest speaker today. It is Sean Dixon from the National Park Service. He gets free reign to talk to us about whatever he wants to. Sean, the floor is yours.
All right, one correction, I'm not with the National Park.
Oh, I'm
I'm
sorry.
with Virginia State Parks.
So sorry.
But that's okay.
Give them the mic.
Camera set up right there. Again, my name is Sean Dixon. I am the park manager here at Kipsey State Park, right down the road. If we need to, sure. All right, I'm the park manager at Kipsey. Is there anybody in here that has not been to Kipsey? I'd like to thank everybody. You'd be surprised how many people I run into on the shore that have been here and never been down to the park. That happens. So a little bit about the park. The park was established in 1992. Before the park was there, John Maddox was developing it into a private campground. Luckily, the state was able to acquire the property. I've seen the plans that John had for that place, and it was going to be big. So we're glad to be able to preserve as much of the park as we can as a natural beauty. Some of the draws to the park people may not know about is we have one of the larger campgrounds in the state park system. With 148 campsites. We have over 330,000 average visitors per year come through the park. Out of that, let's see. Our revenue in the park runs about 1.6 million a year. And we do that on $600,000 budget. So
How many lodges do you have there?
we have 5 lodges and we have 4 cabins. And we also have 4 yurts. Now,
These lodges say for 16 people.
the lodges sleep 16. Yes, they
Those
are
are family
6 bedrooms. Yes, they're, I mean, that's a great place for get together, you know, get family together or something like that. And they booked up quite a bit now. Since COVID hit, we've had a huge boom in all the parks in the state. You know, with everybody trying to get outdoors, they come to us, they found us. People who had never been in the parks before, they found us and they're sticking around. They're coming back, which is fantastic. So that's a little bit of information. What do you guys want to know? What would y'all like to hear about the park?
During World War II, wasn't that a U.S. Army Air Corps base down there around where the park is?
I know that there was some, well, that was the refuge, I believe,
Yeah.
where that base.
Okay.
Yeah, across the road, a little bit farther south. Where the state park is, used to be the ferry terminal. Once they moved it from Cape Charles down to Kidney. Around 1950. Yes,
Are the cement boats, ships part of your park? or-
they are. Kind of tricky the way that works, but yes, they are deeded to the park. They were put in place back in 1949. We just celebrated the 75th anniversary of the placement of the concrete ship this past year. And then they are starting to show their age quite a bit. Coming apart pretty good. But they still do the job. They serve as a breakwater. It used to be the ferry firm. That's why they were put in place. The Virginia Ferry Corporation moved their terminal, or had to move to Cape Charles because they were outgrowing traffic there at Cape Charles. They decided they were going to invest and build the most up-to-date, state-of-the-art, biggest, best ferry terminal in the world. And kept people as a result. Poured tons of money into that place. They were able to get ships. The old concrete ships used to serve as everything from merchant supply ships in World War II, served all over the world. Actually been all over the place before they were brought there. These 9 ships were brought and sunk. The old ferry dock is now our fishing pier.
Now, they are also a pelican even, are they not?
They are. I mean, and the rebound of the brown pelicans over the years, you know, that used to be rarely seen them years and years ago, and now we are covered up. There are literally thousands out there, and a lot of those do nest or hang out in those ships, along with several other species.
You need to wash your windshield more frequently.
Yes.
I gave that ferry terminal as a 10-year-old, like 60, on vacation from West Virginia. Do you still keep track of where people come from in your park system? Idea when you get pushed the in-state out?
We do. We actually keep a lot of those statistics. We send out surveys for every park guest that comes in. We have a place online where they can register. If they're, you know, if they're overnight guests, obviously we have their information where they're from. But with these surveys, we also have an available QR code that anybody can scan into it and fill out a quick questionnaire. But yeah, we keep up. And I don't know the stats for that right off the top of my head.
Understand, what, you get, I know you get a lot of Virginia, some Maryland, North Carolina, do you get much further than that? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we get Canada, we get West Coast, California, we get Texas, Florida, you know, all over.
West Virginia.
Stop it.
I love it. Be the West Virginians that come over here seem to stick around.
They come here and they don't leave. Propagate.
So,
Ladies first.
no, 2 questions. So
Sure.
what is your season that the park operates in? And secondly, you mentioned you have over 300,000 visitors for this season. Is that max capacity for this park, or is there more growth that can happen there? You could accommodate more visitors.
We are, I won't say we're at max capacity. There are days where we reach capacity and have to close gates for a little while or turn people away. It's gonna come back later. In the summertime, usually it's gonna be around holidays. But outside of that, we're not close to capacity. Now, it's probably more than what we want to deal with. Regular basis a lot of times, but we have seen. What we are seeing is that where we used to have a season that ran from May or into May, Memorial Day to Labor Day, now those shoulder seasons are stretching out more. So now we're starting to see crowds early April. And even now, every weekend, our campsite's been full, our cabins have been, even this time.
How far in advance would you have to make a reservation?
Depends on what time of the year you want to come. If you're trying to come during the end season, the busy season, 11 is it the earliest, that's the earliest that we allow reservations, month in advance, and people are waiting for their reservations.
I think I was gonna ask, the season, like those lodge units, are they open in the winter?
The lodges, cabins are open year round. The campground, we shut down after the first weekend of December. And we reopened the first weekend in March. And that's just so we can winterize the facility and stuff like that. So, but it's everything else. The park itself is open all year for days. Any day, 24/7. The only days that we close the gate at all is if it's a major storm coming through, main storm, tropical storm warning or better. Or we have 4 days that we close for management, wildlife management hunts, where we do some deer hunts to kind of keep the deer population in check in the park. So, yeah.
Is it necessary to have a fishing license to fish off the pier, or do you have to have a fishing license?
Okay, so the pier itself, no fishing license is required. We have a blanket license that covers anybody fishing off of the pier. We do charge $5 for adults, $3 for kids per day to fish the pier. That helps cover our costs. The South Beach, the beach to the south side of the parking lot there, is open for fishing, dogs, pets, whatever. If you're fishing from that beach, you have to have a saltwater license. Yes.
How many acres?
Our park is small compared to a lot of parks. We're only 562 acres. Which, I mean, it sounds big, but when you talk about parks like First Landing and across the way, Pocahontas, some others that are stretched out to 8,000 acres, we're small as far as but we're also in the top 5 or 6 as far as visitation and revenue. But a lot of people feel small there.
Yeah, people work there.
I have 7 full-time employees, counting myself, and seasonally up to about 20, 25 wage staff. That's one of our big challenges now. It didn't used to be a challenge years ago, but now finding and keeping wage staff, and that's everywhere. I mean, it's not just us, but we experience it the same as every other small business in the area, especially in heat season. Yes, ma'am.
They're hunting in your park, hunting.
We only have 4 days that we do hunts, and we do that specifically for deer mission. It's not open to the general public. We allow hunters to make reservations, people that want to hunt, to reserve spots for those 4 days each.
What this is that?
Sorry.
How busy is the hunt?
How busy? When we open up reservations for the hunts, and we can handle usually between 12 and 18 people. The reservations are booked usually within about 5 minutes of when we open. It's there's a huge demand for it. We have a few hunters that have figured out how to make the reservations on time. They know exactly when it is. They like to come back every year. So we get a lot of repeat hunters that have been coming for years. Just because they're quick on the draw and they have the computer or making a phone call, whatever the reservation center.
Are the lodges booked up fairly quickly?
The lodges, they
Thinking
stay
about family
during the
reunion.
end season, on all in the shoulder seasons and in the winter time.
Fourth of July.
Oh, everything's booked. Everything is gonna be booked on your major holidays. Unless you're planning out a year in advance and making that reservation.
Yeah, usually all of them.
It's gonna be, it's gonna be booked.
Yeah.
How long have you been stationed?
Okay, so I started my career at Gibbs Peak in 2010. That was when I started my career at Virginia State. From Gibbs Peak, a couple of years. Then we moved over to Belle Isle State Park, which is northern neck, Langston County on the Rappahannock River. There for about 4 or 5 years, then transferred to Smith Mountain Lake State Park, promotion to Smith Mountain Lake State Park. Been a few years out of Smith Mountain Lake State Park before coming back over here to Park. Promotion.
So this is still considered promotion to come back. It's a still
It is.
promotion.
See,
to
I
come
was
back.
the park manager, Lake, now I'm the park manager. So, they won't really transfer you. You have to put in for where you want to go.
Okay.
And usually we can do a lateral transfer, but we have to apply for it and go through the interview process just like anybody else.
This is the best so far, right?
This is. I've been coming to the shore for years. I love it over here. This is my community now. I'm going to be here until I retire. And hopefully long after.
You're still in the system?
Scott is dying. Scott retired. Wow. He retired right around the time I started. So around, I think 2010, 2011, I think it's when Scott retired.
He was a member here.
He was a member. Yeah. Yes.
Are there opportunities for high school students to do internships, or volunteer time?
There are, and if anybody's interested in any kind of volunteer hours, we have all kinds of students. I know some schools, I don't know if Northampton does now or not, require their students to do some community service hours or something like that. If they have that requirement, their students want to come to the park and do that, please let us know. We can certainly arrange some time and some projects for them to help out. We'd love to have volunteers.
They do have that requirement, and there are people who want school students in touch with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is one of the things that was mentioned, with volunteers. We use volunteers for a lot of our work, especially when it's harder and harder to get wage employees, seasonal employees. We lean a lot on volunteers. We are still trying to build up our friends group, the Friends of Gibbs Peak State Park, an advocacy group that helps support us in the park. They can help raise money for things. They come out, volunteer, do a lot of different projects, do a lot of special events and stuff like that at the park. If anybody's interested in that, let me know. I can get you in touch with them. And then we also advertise certain times a year, just general volunteer work days, where we may have certain projects, whether it's a clean the bay day or we do some volunteer days, prepping the campground for the season open in the spring, various things. All right.
Excellent. Any other questions, Sean? Thank you so much for joining us today and getting us informed.
Just one quick one. I just need your phone number so I can call you for volunteers for you.
Get with-
All right.
I've got some fact sheets up here that I'll just leave up here and anybody that wants one can grab one rather than try and pass them all around. But it's got a lot of the information, history of the park, some of the numbers and all that stuff. So
We appreciate it. And I know that I think we had a representative from the Friends Group speak to us more than maybe now 2 years ago.
yeah, so.
Right. So she'd been before us, to talk once more and we love hearing this stuff. And service is in our motto. So.
One other thing I forgot to mention, I brought in a flyer for this too. For any of you that know anybody, may be interested. Virginia State Parks this past year became the first state park system in the country to install chroma viewfinders in every single state park in the state. What that is the chroma viewfinders help those with color blindness be able to see the actual vivid colors. And anybody can look through it, and you can look through it. When you look through it, if you're not colorblind, when you look through it, you'll just see everything that's brighter and crisper. But for those that do have, I want to say it's the red-green colorblind. It's amazing what I've heard from those people that experience it. So send them out to the park and check it out.
Thank you very much, Sean. We do have a small token of our appreciation.
Thank you very much.
Thank y'all.
If there's nothing else for the club, I'm gonna have us all stand. Two, fair to all concerned. 3, build goodwill and better friendships. 4, benefit to all concerned.
Go out and vote. Have fun.
Everybody have a good day.
Yeah. Oh, yes.